Hey Andrew, I'm gonna do a little more recording on the way home from work. You asked about my upbringing and being adopted. So I was, let's see, it was a surprise actually. So my parents, my dad was in a Russian concentration camp after World War II. He got captured in Berlin and put into a concentration camp for several years. When he got out, he met my mom, who was much, much younger than him, 15 years or 20 years younger than him. And he was given the opportunity to go to America, even though he was a Nazi German. He had been in a concentration camp during the war in America, actually. He was given the opportunity to come to America after being sponsored by the camp doctor, which is kind of a complicated story. But he came to New Jersey and then talked to my mom, who he had met in Berlin after getting out of prison, talked her into coming over, and they had a rough relationship, and a few years later they decided to get divorced. But I ended up part of that relationship, and then he moved back to Germany, and my mom, he moved back eventually, but my mom came to divorce him because she was in Germany after the breakup. She came to divorce him, and a couple of days before she went back, this is after I was born already, she met my adoptive dad, that is my dad Melvin, at a party in Southern California by Pepperdine. And he fell in love with my mom and adopted me and gave me his name. So his name is Melvet, last name. My real name by birth is Raymond Christian Baum. My birth name is Baum. My dad was Manfred Baum. And so I was adopted, and then they had 4 of their own kids. So I always grew up knowing I was different. I actually didn't know until 10 years old that I'd been adopted. I thought I was just, you know, an older brother to my brothers and sisters, but my mom one day, in a fit of rage, being mad at me, told me that I'd been adopted, and that was a bit of a shakeup. So my sense of our past, of who we come from, our family origins, that what our family did in history, to me has always been important. And so starting Club Dust was in really tangible way asking for forgiveness or making up for the evil of my family and their involvement in World War II as Germans. And so really a lot of what I do in creating homes and peace and accepting everyone in Mexico and welcoming everyone to be part of the trip in Mexico. You don't have to be any religion, you don't have to be any age. You can be like me and don't know much about building. You can be like you, know about making bunk beds or whatever it may be. Everyone's welcome. It's a safe place to be. It's how I believe life should be and how we can treat each other the best. By traveling, we meet other cultures, other people that are very different than us, and that teaches us that lesson and teaches us, though, that in common, or what we have in common, is just our need for shelter, our need for food, and our need to be loved and accepted. And so those are the things that we provide on the Club Dust trips, and we provide for the families down there. After I got out of Pepperdine, I smuggled Bibles into East Germany with a group called Eastern European Bible Mission when the Russians still controlled Hungary, the country of Hungary. And then shortly thereafter, I started Club Dust, building houses in the dump in Tijuana, and then eventually moving out to where we are now, out in the hills outside, where even poorer people are. They're further away from the factories and have a harder time making any money. So we'd love to start businesses in the future where we can help them make money, but right now we just enjoy building houses. It's something a lot of us can do, not too technical. And while I raise my 2 daughters, Summer and Serena, I can do it just once a month and a couple times a year on longer trips, but it doesn't require a full-time job. Whereas if we started our own businesses down there, that would be a much more complex responsibility and take much more time. So anyways, hopefully all this is helpful. I'll put it on YouTube now and send you the link. And any other questions, let me know. See you.